over the Mister. That's you.
No, Tony. So, Ant, Pemta. So, what do you want to do?
Let's dive right into the draft. Tennessee Titans are first on the clock. Who do you think they're going to pick in the draft?
So, it's been Cam Ward for months now. Nobody gets off that. I don't like one little side thing is I don't like when it seems like the draft itself gets complacent and just says, nope, that's who's going number one. But I said I've seen another quarterback that I think's on this guy's level. That's Jackson Dart. I don't think either one of them is a total blue chipper. I don't think this is one of those seasons, but Cam Ward's going first. I think I saw Jackson Dart make a few better throws, more NFL caliber throws, dime pieces, if you will. But Cam Ward's going to go number one.
So you Cam Ward number one to Tennessee Titans. You think that's a good fit for them?
I do. I mean, it just stinks when you don't have your quarterback and then you draft a quarterback, he's not successful, and then you just kind of start at square one like the Jets do every 2 or 3 years. It's just like you're just back at the starting line. So yeah, but Cam Ward, the thing is if you get the good quarterback, it could turn your franchise around pretty quick. So
Speaking of a team back at the starting line, what about the Cleveland Browns? They've got the second pick in the draft. Who do you think they're going to select number two in the NFL draft?
So before I tell you who I think they should consider these two people. I know pretty much who is going to. They should strongly consider Abdul Carter. Pairing him with Miles Garrett would just be a dynamic pass rushing duo on another level. They should also consider a quarterback because they don't have one. Um, Kenny Pickett is currently there. Shador Sanders and Jackson Dart will be on the board. And listen, don't count these guys out because the quarterbacks always go higher. We saw it last year with Bo Nix, Michael Penix. These guys were supposed to be fringe first rounders, second rounders. They ended up going eighth and 12th. I think Bo Nix went, Penix went eighth. So, but the pick is going to be Travis Hunter. He's too much. He's a corner, he's a receiver, he's a dynamic receiver. But the only problem is if history has shown us anything, you can have all the receivers in the world. If you don't have anyone to throw
Right.
the ball, then it really doesn't matter. You're not going to win anyway. So, but Travis Hunter, I have going second to the Browns because he's probably the best player in the entire draft, quite frankly. So,
So I have, if Travis Hunter is taken by the Browns, I have the Patriots trading out of their pick later. If what you say is true, that is something that will happen. I believe they will move out of their pick and they will drop back a couple picks and gain some picks and still pick a guy that they wanted. So
well, I
moving on to pick number three.
play for that now. So,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that one. I think I agree with you on that, but we'll get to that when we get to four. But
Yeah. So number three, the New York Giants.
yeah,
Who
they're
who do
going
you think the Giants are going to
to
pick?
Abdul Carter. You know, I don't think they're in love with Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end they drafted a few years ago. They have Brian Burns, who they gave up a lot of capital for. Pass rush is not their number one need. They have a hideous offensive line. They have Malik Neighbors, but yet they have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Neither one of them is going to be the man going forward. They should at least consider Shador Sanders or Jackson Dart, but most likely they're going to take Abdul Carter. He's the best player on the board. The Eagles are in their are in their division, so you could totally see them kind of doing what the Eagles do. You have Thibodeau, Burns, and Carter as a great pass rushing trio. So we'll see what happens.
No, yeah, that'd be a good mix up. So pick number four in the NFL. The New England Patriots are on the clock. Who
So
do
here's
they go with?
interesting. What happened to Derek Carr with the Saints has really kind of turned around the whole draft. If Derek Carr didn't get hurt and wasn't out for the season, I think they would have stuck at 9, and there was a couple guys I could have seen going there. But I think now they might get aggressive. They could trade up to 4 with the Patriots to get a quarterback. They could trade up to 6. Say if Shador Sanders or Jackson Dart are there, they could trade up to either 4 or 6 to get those guys. The Patriots, who I'd really like to see them take if they stuck at 4, or even if they traded down, is Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. He's going to be a 5 or a 6-time Pro Bowler. He's the best blocking tight end outside of one other in the draft. He's a go up and get it guy. He runs good routes. He's
Yeah,
everything. I don't. So
he's
you
very reliable in the
will
middle of the field too.
or who's a guard, or you could take a potentially all pro prototype tight end to go with Stephon Diggs and your young quarterback. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's how I feel about it.
No, yeah, right. He's a great target over the middle, and he's big.
Yeah, he's got it all. You know, who are they probably going to take? Will Campbell. But like you said, if they're going to take Will Campbell, there's no difference between Will Campbell and Armand Membu. He's a right tackle, not a guard like Will Campbell is. But there's just no blue chip left tackle in this class. They should totally either trade down or take Tyler Warren. That gives you diversity of targets with Warren and Diggs. Demario Douglas is your slot. I just think it makes a lot of sense and it helps out your quarterback. So, but who are they going to take? Probably Will Campbell.
Yeah, I believe they're gonna trade whoever's that. That's gonna be the move,
That's probably, I could see the Saints doing that. The Saints
and
might
that'll be the move.
be aggressive now. They may not, because it's quite, I mean, I'll get to it at 7, so I won't spoil it, but I will say that the Saints are in play now to trade up. That's all I'm going to say. So,
Yeah, and most drafts have the Saints drafting an edge rusher when that's really not even their biggest concern.
I could have
So
seen
it's like,
an edge rusher if Derek Carr wasn't hurt, because they have some receivers, they have some backs, they have a decent offensive line. But now the Eagles have made the blueprint. You need to build up your defensive line. And if you do that, everything else falls into place. The linebackers are better. The cornerbacks don't have to cover as long. Everything is better when your defensive line is better.
so that brings us to the number 5th pick in the draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars select who?
Well, they're going to select Mason Graham, the defensive tackle out of Michigan, but this is a controversial one for me. I like Shamar Stewart, and I am passionate about this. Shamar Stewart should at least get some consideration at 5. After the combine, this guy shot up from a late teens to top 10 after the combine. I mean, he's a total freak of nature. And if you think about what he did in college, he was a space eater. He didn't accumulate a lot of production sack wise and tackle wise, but disruption is production. This guy is 6'5" and a half. He was 290 during the season. He got down to 270 for the combine. He ran a 4.58. He has a 40+ inch vertical leap. He benched 225 over 25 times. He's one of the This guy did not get, if you watch the tape, he took on 2 and 3 guys every time and he never got overpowered or put on his behind. This guy stood up against double and triple teams. One of the strongest guys in the draft. And the couple times that he was let free, you did not want to get hit by this guy. I really think he's got, and I watched what Chris Sims had said about him, was one of the great draft analysts. And I go, why aren't more people talking about this guy? And then Sims started talking about him, and he said, this guy has top 10 in the NFL potential. He's got that kind of athleticism with elite size. I think Jacksonville should. And here's the other thing: Jacksonville drafted Trayvon Walker number one overall. This is going to be his third season. They need to support him on that defensive line. So maybe it's Mason Graham, but they should consider Shamar Stewart. He can free up Trayvon Walker to make plays because if you don't remember, Trayvon Walker had the greatest combine we've ever seen, just so everybody knows. He was the greatest athlete ever measured at the combine, but he hasn't had the help on the D line. You get him one of these two guys. I'm a huge Stewart fan. I think that makes Trayvon Walker better. So sorry for being long winded. I'm very passionate about Shamar Stewart as a player. So well, I think I lost you again.